I've been gardening for over 10 years now, and in none of those years have I ever kept chickens until today. In this video, I'm gonna take you on a complete tour of my absolute dream coop. Well, the day's come, and it's not the day that we thought it would be, because Jacques and I thought, well, he's ready to do something right now, but Jacques and I thought that we would be building this coop fully ourselves. Of course, it's actually somewhat built. We thought we'd be assembling and painting it, but things have been going just insane behind the scenes here in Epic Gardening. What we're doing today is that tree right there. I believe it's a Chinese elm, which is a non-productive tree. It's non-native, non-productive, and also, honestly, besides about a couple weeks of the year, it doesn't even look that good. We're going to remove it. And why? Because we have the team from Carolina Coops coming to build the coops. We got to take this tree down in the next 20 minutes. So Jacques got a couple toys. Why don't we see this right here? Look at that. That is the Felco sheathed saw. I've got a quick saw, and then Jacques got the DeWalt power tool.
Feels good.
Feels real good. These are Ray-Bans I found on the property. I don't actually know where these came from, but first of all, don't look at the trunk right now. We're looking at this trunk, guys. DeWalt's tools are insanely good. Jacques and I are both fans. Not sponsored. Hey, if DeWalt wants to sponsor this, you know who to email. But these things, we're obsessed with these things.
Let's take a quick look at how quick this thing works. Yeah, so effortless. Before we get the stump out of here, I needed to fully transform into my lumberjack persona. Then we got this guy.
So I gave Jacques the task of cutting down the tree because I've never seen that man happier than when he was chainsawing down a tree and chopping a trunk. Then the Carolina Coops guys came out, and I have to say, Matt's offer to have them build this really saved our life because their craftsmanship and skill went a long way. I wouldn't have come anywhere close to this on my own.
Standing before you is the flagship Carolina Coop from none other than Carolina Coops. And Matt, the owner of Carolina Coops, actually flew out with his crew to help me put this together because I'm certainly no carpenter. They're this interesting mix of carpenter and chicken and animal lovers. So they've created a coop that's honestly unlike any coop I've ever seen in my life. So throughout this video, as I take you on this tour, showing you every element and aspect of this coop, I will pop in some choice words from Matt, because it's the dude that designed these coops. He's put his blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. He knows exactly why it's designed the way it is. But let's hop on and start with something kind of weird, the automatic chicken door. Now, as a gardener, I'm interested in chickens, of course, for their eggs, but also for their interplay with the garden, feeding them scraps, having that go back out into the garden and feed the soil. And they need to pasture in free range to be able to do that, but they can't do that if I forget to let them out of the coop. And that's where this automatic chicken door called the Chicken Guard comes into play.
We love this door because it's very simple. It just works. You have three options. You can have it open and close based on a timer, manually, and or the photo cell, or technically a fourth option where you can do both. And the reason why it's nice to do both is there might be times that you have this nocturnal predator that's supposed to be going home by morning, but it knows the chickens might come out at 6 a.m. and the fox in this case might be ready for them. You can tell this automatic door not to open till like 9 a.m. All right, and then it'll open up and let the girls out, and then you use the photo cell to tell it to close the door at night when the chickens are already inside their hen house. There we go.
There you go.
So we're gonna shut. I'm gonna tell you the other thing I love about this door is as it goes down, it's gonna close off that opening. It's counting magnets. It's actually calibrated so it knows when to stop, so it doesn't backlash in there. Check this out. We have these little locks so that a raccoon can't open it up at night.
Otherwise, if there weren't those locks there, you could actually just pull it up. So that's the door for the chickens. What about the door for the humans? Well, I've got this double Dutch door. So let's say I harvest some cabbage scraps and I want to throw these into the coop so the chickens can eat. Without opening the door, I can use the double Dutch, pop this guy up, open it, say hello to my chickens, toss in my scraps, close it, and I'm on with my day. And if I want to get into the actual coop as a human being and interact, then boom. Lift the gate up, the whole thing opens, and I can walk right in.
Yeah. So you have a gate latch here. Now, the one thing I want to mention, make sure you get your carabiners or whatever you want to use for your locks. All right, that's what these holes are for. So make sure, because a raccoon will climb up here.
You and I were talking carabiners being the ideal because the raccoon cannot figure that out. There's no way for it to kind of do all the mechanics it needs to do to open it up.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So you want to put one here and you want to put one here. Very, very important.
Okay, I'll be grabbing those. We're over here now at the egg hutch, which has an interesting design. Typically what you would think would happen here is you would just lift the top up and then you'd be able to access the egg hutch, be able to harvest your eggs, and you'd be good to go. You can't lift the top up on this one, and there's a special reason why that I'll let Matt share.
A lot of egg hutches you'll see out there, the roof will lift up, and the reason why they do that is it's just easy. It's not easy going in and making this beautiful door that's gonna sound like that when you shut it.
Yeah,
okay?
wait, let's open that thing up, because that's pretty cool. And then you drop it down, and then look at that. And this, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not used to this. These look a little more compact than the average, and that's because the chicken kind of wants to be safe in there.
Yeah, so there's a big debate out there. The rule of thumb is 12 by 12. If you measure ours is like 11 and a half or something like that. Chickens want to be in an area that they feel safe, okay?
Yeah.
But, got to make everyone happy, right? One of the reasons why these dividers pop out so that I got to have a bigger nest box. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Or you got a hen that goes broody.
Yeah.
And you got the baby chicks in there, and you need a spot for the little chick feed in the water until they're big enough to hop out.
There you go.
All right. Food safe, high density polyethylene. Stuff is awesome. If you ever had to, not you need to, but you can throw this in the dishwasher if you had to.
Yep. And then you've got the roof here, which again doesn't open, which allows you to waterproof it properly, where you got this little, I don't know the term here for this, but water in theory will fall down here, hit here, and then go to the ground.
Exactly.
And it never will even have a chance entering the coop.
Exactly. So that's why one of the biggest reasons why I don't like when the roof lifts up. So we don't want to scare the hens that are in there. If they're in there laying an egg and you lift this up, you're going to startle them. It just makes sense. They're very aware of nocturnal creatures.
Yeah.
Two, that is an easy leak point, and you don't want that. So we add our own flashing right here to prevent that. But here's the best part of the drop-down door in the egg hutch, is when the kids come running, and the first thing they do is they go right to that egg hutch. They have no problem.
You're right at that height.
They're right at this height. They love it. Also, it doesn't matter if they're tall like you, or we've done a lot of chicken coops for people that are in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
They can wheel right up to it.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Now the back of this coop is where we access the hen house. And this really is where I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the level of craftsmanship in the coop. So there's a couple things you can do. There's like 4 ways you can open this, 5 ways you can open this. Number one, let's just say you want some ventilation. It's a hot day. You don't want your hens to get all roasted in the coop. So what you can do is you can just lift up these and you have the same protective screen, which I'll talk about in a moment. And if you want to actually hang these open, there are dowels built in that you can just slide out, pop in here and gently rest. And now you have ventilation. There's actually 3 different levels. You can have it here, here, or here. You can of course open this one up as well. And you've got ventilation out the back side of the hen house. There's actually ventilation on all 4 sides, including the inside. But what if you actually just want to access the hen house and see what's going on in there?
So easy. One is when we want to get access to our hen house, we got these big doors.
Yep.
You open it right up. Look, we just removed the wall.
Yeah.
That's what we did, okay? And then look, you got that high density polyethylene, the food safe high density polyethylene continues into here. Here's where you deep litter.
Yep.
So you don't have to clean out once a week like you're supposed to. This, with a traditional hen house, let me be clear, traditional hen house, you're supposed to clean out once a week. Now with ours, the rule of thumb is with deep litter is you can go over a year without having to clean out your hen house. Most people, especially if you do not overload it with chickens, okay? You keep that chicken to coop ratio in check, you can go years without having to clean out your hen house.
Amazing. And if you want to, give them that little taste right there.
Here we go.
Let me get this other side here.
All right. So this is our deep litter door.
Look at that.
When it does come time to clean, look at that. Waist height, pulling, sweeping motion. You can bring your wheelbarrow up, pull all that litter right into that wheelbarrow, take it off to your compost. Or I love what you've done here.
Speaking as a gardener, yep, we're building a composter right here, 3-bin system. We're gonna go snow shovel a deep litter directly into a fresh heap of compost, restart it, and get it going and cycle it on down, and it'll be finished on that side. So that's, I mean, that's, to me, that access is just so key.
You guys are asking me, Matt, what is this block of wood for?
Yeah.
It is so that if your automatic door should ever fail on you, you hinge this and you put it on and use this until your automatic door is working again.
There you go.
So that's what this is for. Also, before I forget, here's the plug for your heater, and we'll talk about that when we get over to the heated water system.
Yeah.
Here's all the instructions for your automatic chicken door we were just talking about. You can even register it and get the warranty.
There you go.
Great company.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm still not even over what's going on in here because you've got the roost bars in here, right? And I definitely went a little extra and I got these rope wrapped roost bars. Why is that even an option? Because underneath this is just a piece of sort of shaved or beveled off 2x4 or something like that, right?
So what we do is we have our traditional roost bars, and traditional roost bars do work well. I like to kick it up a notch, right? We had years ago where a vet recommended to us that if someone has a chicken that's suffering from bumblefoot and it's not healing well, to wrap the roost bars with rope so air can get around their foot at night so it can heal better by drying it out. And it makes sense because we're just mimicking a tree branch.
You're probably wondering what life is like inside the coop. I'm pretty tall, so I gotta watch my head a little bit. For the most part, you can walk right in. So let's hop in and see what's going on. From the inside, you can actually see this beautiful view that the chickens get to look at, but what we're looking through, I'm gonna let Matt explain.
And this is a galvanized core wiring that's 19 gauge. It's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch black PVC coated. So why is that important? One, you wanna make sure that you're using black PVC coating because it absorbs the light. It makes it see-through. You're gonna wanna see your girls walking around inside there. Number two, the PVC coating will protect that wire core, so in theory, it should never rust. Why should it be 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch? That is so you don't have predators that can reach in and grab your girls.
So we're inside the hen house now. Like I said, I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'4". I don't know if you can see it, but I can actually stand up completely fine in this coop. No headroom issues at all, which is fantastic for getting in here and cleaning it out and just interacting with the hens. So you can see the hen house here. You've got the stairs that'll jump them up into, Matt's actually told me what they'll do is they'll jump up about halfway, then they'll kind of waddle their way into the hen house. But the hen house, like I mentioned, is vented on all 4 sides. So I can lift this up and get airflow north, south, east, and west at the top so that the hens don't overheat. That's the thing that Matt has told me is probably more dangerous than letting them get too cold, is letting them get too hot, which is why the coop is designed to vent as much heat and have as much airflow as possible. The other cool thing that you're seeing in here is that this entire hen house is up off the ground. So the dimensions here, you're looking at 6 feet this way and 18 feet side to side on the coop, which is the effective run space because the hen house is above the ground. So the hens can actually come underneath the coop, and in fact, it's probably where I'll end up seeing them, so they have shelter and they get a little bit more cooling effect when things get a little too hot in here. The other thing that's really fascinating is the entire roof is metal. I can put gutters on it, and that brings us to capturing water, which brings us to how the hens are gonna drink. The first thing I'm thinking is, okay, well, how am I feeding and watering my chickens in here? And you do have a solution for that with this, which is quite clever.
Thank you. Yeah, this is our heated water system. So we love, it all starts right here where the chicken's gonna come up, hit the stainless steel trigger. It's spring loaded. There's a little rubber gasket on the backside, so it's a one-way valve, if you will. The chickens hit it, water comes out, and they drink from it. The reason why this is great is one, it's gonna make them work. Gotta keep them busy. Number two, it keeps the water clean. All right, there's nothing worse than having dirty water because the chickens keep scratching the dirt into the water or whatnot. And then also, this allows us to have this 1.5-inch PVC tube that allows us to put this pump on, and when you need to keep it from freezing, it's a completed system so that the water gets pushed through the water bar back up to the rain barrel that's on the outside.
So as long as you're cycling, it's not gonna freeze.
Well, it's cycling, and there's a heater that goes down inside the rain barrel that's self-regulating that'll turn on, so it warms back up, and it's a constant cycle, just like a boiler is, if you will.
Yeah.
And it keeps the water from freezing.
So then what I can do, and I don't have it on here yet, is I can put a gutter on this outside edge here, maybe like some gutter coming around this way. You got the downspout right here, goes straight into this. If, in theory, if it rains in San Diego at least, I'll get enough water. Otherwise, I can fill this with a hose.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. One little touch that I absolutely had to have, I could not resist pressing the add to cart on this one, was the cupola. It's fully functional, it's screened and it's meshed, so no insects or anything can get in, and it does provide venting up top. It's got the roofing on top so the water flows correctly if you're catching water off of this thing. But honestly, guys, it just looks badass. It looks amazing, and it's that little cherry on top of a coop like this. So there you have it, the tour of the Dream Coop. Chickens coming soon. I think I'm starting with 6. Let me know down in the comments which breeds I should consider, and stay tuned because Matt hung out for a while here and gave me some serious knowledge on coops, whether you're doing a DIY coop like Jacques. Actually, Matt went and roasted Jacques' DIY coop, gave it the expert coop score. You can check that out on his channel. But just coop questions and chicken questions in general coming up here on Epic Gardening. It ties in so well to growing plants and cultivating a little bit more life here on your property. So stay tuned, good luck in the garden, and keep on growing.